Minecraft has had an extremely odd history with Nintendo, from adding its iconic characters to one of Nintendo's most beloved games to having a secret game they don't want you to play. So today I wanted to take a look at the history of Minecraft on Nintendo consoles. And as we do, we're going to uncover some extremely unique facts about how this one Nintendo-less franchise went all in. Today I'm mainly going to be talking about the mainline Minecraft, not the spin-offs, as the classic Minecraft has a lot of juicy deets. But don't worry, because I'll be covering all of the spin-off games in a future video, so stay tuned and subscribe. When Minecraft was first developed in 2009, it was nothing more than a simple game where you could only place a limited amount of blocks. This would slowly be developed over time, adding countless features, and eventually, in 2011, the game was officially done and released. Shortly after its release, the game came to home consoles. First, the Xbox 360 edition came out in May 2012, and the PS3 finally got the PS3 edition in December 2013, over a year later. Most likely because Xbox Game Studios assisted 4J with the 360 port of the game and wanted this game to stick out on their platform. It wasn't because Microsoft bought Minecraft yet, as that wasn't even thought about for another few years. At this time, it wasn't even rumored. The Xbox and PS3 version of this game proved wildly popular. Anyone with one of these consoles probably had it, but it was always different than the PC version, as the PC and console versions at the time were completely different. As this game became more and more popular, Nintendo fans started to realize the absence of this game on their platform. Why didn't this game come to the Nintendo consoles at the time? The Wii U had already been out since 2012. This could have been a launch title or a game to jumpstart the Wii U era, but instead, the teeny amount of Wii U players only got disappointing news, like in late 2013 with the developer of Minecraft, we know his name, saying that he wasn't aware of any potential plans to bring the game to Wii U, but he said it would make sense. And in June 2014, the creator of Mario, Shigeru Miyamoto, and Shinya Takahashi, hope I said that name right, liked the style of game, and they thought that it would work great on the dual screen setup on the Wii U and the 3DS. They also said it wasn't as big in Japan, and bringing it to a Nintendo console would expand its reach. And only a few months after that, the developer at Mojang straight up said there were no plans for Minecraft on the Wii U because the user base was too small. And even at Minecon 2015, Mojang's COO was asked about a potential Wii U version. They said, if I had it my way, we'd be on everything. I've never heard of a reason why we haven't ended up on Wii U or 3DS. It just hasn't happened yet. But finally, in November 2015, PEGI, the European rating board, accidentally leaked a rating for Minecraft Wii U edition, and finally on December 7th, 2015, they finally announced Minecraft on Wii U to be released 10 days later on December 17th, 2015, digitally only. But what did they do to make this version stand out? Well, at launch, this version was closely compared to the current gen console counterparts, which were the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. The Wii U version stood out compared to these two because it was $10 more! Why? Well, it's actually because there was free DLC skin packs included with every Wii U copy of the game. But like, why would they add those? Why wouldn't they just sell it for $20 and then give you the option to buy the DLC later, like all the other versions? Not only was it more expensive, but the Wii U version was noticeably lacking in some graphical areas, like the render distance. I started by creating a survival world. I really wanted to make it feel like classic Minecraft by smashing a tree, making tools, and mining. This is simple Minecraft, but let's take a look at what makes the Wii U unique. Well, of course, the Wii U gamepad. We heard about the extremely unique potential this could give Minecraft. Unfortunately, there's only a few amount of things that actually make this version unique. The main benefit to this is the screen on the gamepad. You don't need to use the TV at all. You can do everything on this screen. The display is pretty low resolution, but it does the trick. It also has the expected touchscreen. You can go through menus and change the item on your hotbar, and that's it. That's literally the only thing you can do with touchscreen. That's the only benefit of this feature, which is fine, because to be honest, after using the extremely innovative gamepad, I didn't really see the point. Like, it's cool that they added the feature for those who wanted it, but why would I want to take my hand off the gamepad just to swap between the items in the first place? It's way less convenient to take my hand off the controller to tap the item that I can just use the bumpers for. I just don't really see the benefit. This is one of those times where I'm confused why they bothered to put it in the first place, but I'd be more confused if they didn't, because that's the whole point of the Wii U gamepad. But let's talk about the main reason that anyone would want this. Multiplayer. Having a second player be able to join and play on the TV while you're on the gamepad. Allowing two people to play together in the same room on separate screens. Oh, wait a second. That didn't happen. But having two people play on separate screens, one person on the gamepad and one person on the TV, that alone would have made the game stand out next to the competition. There's no other device that could have done this. It was a perfect yet missed opportunity. You could still play local multiplayer, but it had to be split screen on the TV or on the gamepad. The game overall ran fine on the Wii U, with a noticeable amount of frame dips here and there. I also didn't love the controls on the gamepad. I found the position of the right stick wasn't the best option for this kind of gameplay for whatever reason. This was a perfectly fine port for the underpowered console at the time, which was pretty much already dead. Nintendo eventually came out with a massive custom map they made, which is called the Mario Mashup Pack. This pack had massive statues built in it with Nintendo references, reskinned items, and animals, and of course a strange loop of classic Mario music in the background. Along with this, they added a wide variety of Super Mario skins, but there was still one version that the Nintendo fanbase wanted but never expected that would soon be announced.
Nintendo fans will have another way to play Minecraft.
Minecraft on 3DS. Why? This was announced and released on September 13th, 2017. No one expected them to ever put Minecraft on this Nintendo handheld, mainly because a lot of the community already accepted the fact that the 3DS wasn't powerful enough, and there's no proper controls to actually play this game properly, like a second stick. Oh my, what is that? The new Nintendo 3DS C-Stick. What have we done? Yeah, there's a reason that this was only released on the new 3DSs. The hardware could barely support it, and then there was the addition of the C-Stick. That's what you want to call it. But I'm gonna call it Nub. It could only be played on the new 3DSs, the new 3DS XLs, and the new 2DS XLs. Or at least that's what it says. Oh, also the main gimmick of the 3DS wasn't even being used. You couldn't even play this game in 3D, which in and of itself would have made this game a more unique and cool experience, even if it was underpowered and lackluster. Still would have been cool to see this game in 3D. The developers did state that this would eventually come to the game, but it never did. This game was only supported for about a year until its final update on January 15th, 2019, which makes sense. How could you continually upgrade a game that's already been downgraded so much? And when this game eventually released in Europe, they only had 3 months until this game got its final update. I remember being absolutely shocked and confused on why this version even existed, especially since the game was already on Switch. Wait, hold on a second. This game was already on Switch. This means that the new 3DS edition came out after the Nintendo Switch edition. That's right, the Nintendo Switch edition was released 5 months before the 3DS version was even announced. So because of Minecraft already existing on the newer Nintendo Switch, 3DS version essentially already died on arrival, which is the main reason why I never ended up buying it until last year to do a video on it. And wow, people were obviously interested about this version, but I never had it, mainly because it was clearly downgraded and it was the same price on this platform as others. But what's unique about this version compared to the others? Well, unlike the Wii U, this uses the dual screen setup better, with you actually being able to use it. The bottom touchscreen is so useful and it makes a lot more sense here. It shows the map, it shows your inventory, and it's easy to use. You can easily swap items from your inventory to your hotbar and craft items from the menu. And although you need to use it sometimes, most of the time you can still navigate the bottom screen using the simple button clicks. And you can use the 2 additional bumper buttons exclusively on the new 3DS to swap between items in your hotbar as well. I think the bottom screen is what a lot of Wii U players initially wanted when they heard about the Wii U version of this game. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, my boy Nubby. The C-Stick is what you use to control the camera. I've seen a lot of people hate on it, saying there's no movement or it's impossible to use, but honestly, I kind of like it. It's obviously not the most ideal, but it's surprisingly sensitive and accurate. It's not as accurate as the normal right stick, but for this, it works really well. It was a little difficult to jump from the nub to the regular face buttons, especially the jump button, but the game defaults to auto jump, so it works good enough. The game itself is very downgraded and is the only legacy version that's not based off the Java PC version. Instead, this has the backbone of the original Mobile Pocket Edition. The 3DS version also has an incredibly low resolution, but makes up for it a tad because it has a smaller physical screen. The main reason this version falls behind is the performance. Out of any console ever that Minecraft was released on, this is easily the weakest hardware, and you can definitely tell with the render distance. You can't see far with this handheld at all, and there's no way to adjust that. There's also a spawn cap, so the game can only handle a certain amount of animals or enemies at one time. This is obviously to make sure that the 3DS doesn't burst into flames, but we can do the classic stress test on this version. Let's blow up the Yoshi egg! The game completely froze for multiple seconds, and once the 3DS could process what I had just done to the poor thing, it was running extremely horribly. In fact, the whole time I was in the Mario map, the game ran extremely sluggish. It was not solid whatsoever. Even when I was playing survival, I would just see random hitches as I simply mined. Just as I'm casually doing things, the game would need to take a moment to catch up, and sometimes after simply hitting a block, it would chug. Oh, and every 20 minutes of gameplay, the game would autosave and stop the gameplay for roughly 10 seconds or so. So needless to say, this isn't the best performing whatsoever. Even most basic features like multiplayer were limited. In Minecraft 3DS, you can't simply join an online server like the other legacy consoles could, whether that's a public Minecraft server or just with friends. The only way you could play this version with a friend is through wireless local play. There was no online multiplayer for this version. And on top of that, only one other person could play, unlike previous consoles having up to 4 locally and 8 online, which is why when the 3DS version came out, it was simply overshadowed. And with it being the same price as the Nintendo Switch version, it had no chance of competing, especially for those who already owned a Switch. Speaking of the Switch, back when the Switch version first released, it was called Minecraft Nintendo Switch Edition, but it was eventually changed to just Minecraft without the edition. Eventually, Minecraft didn't have multiple different editions. They wanted to merge all versions into one version so they could incorporate cross-platform play. So they completely eviscerated the Nintendo Switch Edition and gave players a free upgraded version. They also stopped updating the now called Legacy console editions, which included the PS3, 360, PS Vita, and of course the Wii U and 3DS versions. None of these versions would get any future updates, but the current consoles would stay around and allow cross-platform play. The PS4, Xbox One, and Switch stood the test of time and would now all be updated simultaneously with the latest version of Minecraft, and they still are to this day. Now all the versions are essentially the same besides the overall performance. Any feature update is now pushed out to everyone at the same time. The PC players also needed to make the jump to Bedrock Edition to play with the console players instead of using the Java Edition, as Java is still only on PC. So this is the version Nintendo doesn't want you to play, and this is the version they do want you to play. In fact, Microsoft never even published a physical Nintendo Switch Legacy version. They just waited to release the game physically after the new Bedrock Edition was released. For the players who had already made worlds in the Nintendo Switch Edition, they were able to move the world onto the new version. Which reminds me, you could also transfer your Wii U saves to the original Switch version too via local wireless. I just thought that was interesting. The main difference with the old Legacy version and the new Switch version is now all the DLC is purchased with separate currency, Minecoins, which allows you to buy official skins and world packs. Minecraft had officially entered the microtransaction phase. This might be a hot take, but this is personally my favorite version. It's a decently running version of Minecraft targeting 60 frames per second at 1080p. In fact, there was a point when this game only ran at 720p. The Minecraft team was eventually able to optimize the game better to bring it up to the native resolution at 1080p. The game also varies graphically depending on if it's handheld or dock. In dock, the game renders 11 chunks, and in handheld, the game renders 7 chunks. One more chunk than the 3DS version. So still lower than the others, but better than the 3DS. In fact, my iPhone 14 Pro can go to the max of 17 chunks and probably still runs a tad better. Just the fact I can play Minecraft on the Switch is so cool to me, and it feels great. And looks fantastic handheld, especially on the OLED model. This is the version that got my wife and I absolutely hooked. We'd play it for hours on Switch. So much so she got her own Switch just so we could both play on separate screens and using our own accounts. While I do have some gripes with the overall account management system, like how pretty much every time you go into Minecraft it asks you to log into your Microsoft account. It doesn't do that every time, but it does that a lot of the time. Or the lack of cross-platform saves between multiple consoles, like we see done perfectly with games like Lego Fortnite, and of course the lack of sharing a world with multiple people for free when the host isn't online. There's also some overall benefits with this new version, like being able to play cross-platform in the first place, but I found it to be more of a hassle than it's worth. The limited power of the Nintendo Switch shows, like when we made a massive village with an entire villager apartment, or when there's raids that take place at our base, or when I go anywhere near our farm with hundreds of sheep. There's some clear drawbacks, but only in some wild and understandable circumstances. You can easily play this till the end and enjoy it with friends on other platforms, and same with all the online servers. It does everything all other console versions can do, just a little slower. The big reason most people are playing this version is the fact it's the cheapest console on the market with decent controls and easily having local multiplayer, and of course the ability to play this handheld while not needing to use the finicky touchscreen controls like on a phone. And we can see the love of the Switch version with it being the best-selling console version of the game, beating out Microsoft themselves. Oh, and let's not forget the version also has the DLC and Mario add-ons the past Nintendo versions had, but on this version, it's a little different. Because this game is now cross-platform, the Nintendo skin usage is limited. Nintendo doesn't let you use this skin when you're connecting to non-Nintendo Switch players. I expect nothing less. Can't have Mario on an Xbox now, can we? The TNT test also went about as good as I expected. We started seeing such a strong connection with Nintendo and Minecraft when they added Steve, Alex, Enderman, and Zombie all to Smash Bros. Okay, now that was unexpected. Not only did they get in, but a handful of spirits got in the game, and my favorite, the freaking amiibos! Look at that. Look how good those are. It's freaking amazing. I love that. They look so good. Nintendo officially released merch for a Microsoft IP. That's just weird. I would have never seen this coming if you would have told me this 5 years ago. We've also seen a port of every Minecraft spin-off game on the Nintendo Switch, but again, I'll talk about that in a future video. If you want to see the history of Fortnite on Nintendo Switch, make sure you click this video. Please consider liking and subscribing, and maybe check out my memberships and Patreon. And also, you can join a free Discord. I hope to see you in the next one. See you later.